What up guys, today we're doing a quick little tier list on the best strategists to climb Marvel Rivals ranked. Doesn't matter what console you're on or PC, whatever, doesn't really matter. Making this for if you are below diamond and you're trying to climb any rank below diamond, if you're trying to climb to diamond or trying to climb to gold, whatever, this tier list is for you. I'm making it that distinction for two primary reasons. One, when you're post diamond, there are bans, so it kind of changes the tier list a little bit. And then two, because I just completed the climb to diamond. I just completed this climb, so I feel very, emboldened, very apt to make this list right now. So let's do it. Now, looking at our criteria here, I don't think I need to really explain. Like S and A are just going to be really, really solid picks. B's are going to be a little bit more situational. And then C is going to be something that I don't necessarily recommend, but if you really like playing it, it's still going to be fine because it's a C tier and it's going to be more hyper situational. So let's get into it. So first up is going to be Adam Warlock, and I'm a little biased because Adam Warlock is my very favorite champion to play in the game, and I'm going to put him at a solid A tier. I think he actually enters S tier situationally, but he's going to be A tier right here. So Adam is really good at bursting. He does a lot of damage. It won't show up in the stat sheet a lot of times because, as I said, it's more burst damage. Kind of like when you see like a Psylocke with like 30 kills but doesn't do a lot of damage, and you'll see a Punisher with like 10 kills and deals like 30k damage because like you just don't, your damage is very bursty, your damage is very high value damage. So I really like him here, and the res value so good. And then anytime you can combo with Mantis, I'll hover Adam, and if I can get a Mantis, then I'll pick Adam. And if I can't get a Mantis, then I usually won't play it unless the other circumstance that I really like playing Adam is when you have a 3 support comp. Adam is great in that because he can do a lot of damage, and the 3 support comp that's really good is Adam, Mantis, and Rocket because you get crazy reses, or Adam, Mantis, and Luna is what people normally run. So I really like Adam. Think he's very good pick. And next up is going to be Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is going to go in the A tier and probably is the highest one in the A tier. Let's order it left to right. I guess we'll do that today. Highest one in the A tier. I almost put her in the S tier. She's very good in low elo, like really low elo. Like if you're like silver, bronze, or very low gold, a lot of times like she's just so good because you can do a lot of damage. Honestly, I don't think she's primarily like super good as a damage dealer. Sorry, I know it's two people. I know it's Tyrone and the girl, but I always forget Tyrone. I'm sorry, but because when you play her, you're mostly in Dagger form. Like when you climb ranks a little bit more, so I always think like her. Anyways, so yeah, she's like super good in low elo, like because sometimes you'll just notice your DPSs aren't dealing damage, and you just say, "Fuck it, I'm the DPS player." And actually, in like hyper low elo, that's good. I don't think you should plan on being a DPS player, like being like a low Moira one trick or something like that. I don't think you should plan on that. Don't do that. But just when you notice that like you guys can't break chokes and it's because you're not killing anything and it's not because you're not able to keep your tanks alive or something like that, then like she's really good in low elo because you can just deal some damage. And her ult is really good to break chokes, and it's really good to match Luna and Mantis ult, that sort of deal. So she's just really good in low elo, and is very good in high elo as well. Comboing with Moon Knight. Moon Knight is one of the best low elo champions in the game as well. Low elo DPSs because he's so easy to play, the ease of execution. So she also does great stuff for your comp. So I really like Cloak and Dagger, very good. And next up is going to be Jeff, our favorite little land shark, and I'm going to put him actually in C tier. So I know I said this is like more of like a lower elo thing, and like Jeff, like, gets these massive ults in low elo because everybody just stands on point, like the healers are never in the right position and that sort of deal. So like, yeah, dude, you can like feel like you solo win the games a lot of times on Jeff, but the problem is like Jeff just doesn't like, I don't like Jeff. And as soon as you start climbing to like plat or something like that, like people just don't give you the Jeff ult. You got to be really good at Jeff to like get ults on like high value targets. Like once you come to like plat, you're never hitting a support with your ult unless they're just a bad player and they're constantly mispositioning. Like it's just not going to happen. And people are just going to kill you. Like I don't think Jeff is very good. I don't think his heals are very strong. I think you feel like Jeff is really good because sometimes Jeff solo wins the game. Like totally, especially in lower elo. Totally, Jeff just solo wins the game. But you don't think about all the times in which like Cloak and Dagger, Adam, Mantis, Luna, Loki, Rocket. You don't think about all the little things that they've been doing the whole matches. You just like feel like the big Jeff ult. But I don't think Jeff is very good at all. Very situational. Can solo win games, but I think people just remember when that happens and they don't think about all the little things that all the other supports do that they just do way better than Jeff. And next up is going to be Loki, the god of mischief. And sorry if you hear a train in the background, it is passing by my house right now. And Loki is going to be our very first S tier. Loki was my main the whole time I was climbing, all the way until I got into plat. And then he just felt a little bit more demanding. I think Loki is the hardest support to play in the game mechanically and strategically. Both parts of him are the hardest to play because you have to learn which ultimates to use. And like I said, that'll require a different video of me doing like a whole tier list for the best ultimates to steal and why you should steal them and when you should steal them. So you got to know like how to play really aggressive. You got to know how to play really defensive. You got to be able to duel on Loki. And in low elo, Loki is such an insane duelist. Like in high elo, you can even outduel some people, but in low elo, like people can't aim. So you can like outduel their flankers, their Black Panther, their Psylocke. Like you can 100% outduel them on Loki if you have your immortality field and a couple clones. So in lower elos, like Loki is such a good damage dealer when you need extra damage, and his heals are so easy to hit. His immortality field is so strong, and he is so strong in higher elos as well, because a lot of people will ban things but will leave Hela open. Hela has been starting to get banned in higher elos, so maybe Loki comes down to A tier in higher elos now. But since there's no bans, especially if you see a Hela player on your team, grab that Loki. If your Hela player is strong, Loki becomes basically immortal, and Hela gets a 20% damage buff. It's crazy. So just with his team ups and all the utility he has and your carry potential, like stealing a Psylocke ult and breaking a choke whenever your DPS players are terrible, like you can just solo carry games by playing like a healer, but then just stealing offensive ults and breaking chokes with it, because like your Psylocke player is terrible and does not have a position. Oh, well, you can position, you know? So easy to do. Next up is going to be Luna Snow, and this is going to be an easy S tier. I think everybody saw this one coming. I have a controversial one with Mantis possibly, we'll see. But I'm gonna put her up into the S tier here. Everybody knows why she's so good. The Luna ult is very good. You know, it's basically a Transcendence, a Zenyatta ult, but you can also amplify for damage instead as well. So has a lot of maneuverability. She has CC built into her kit, and she's like probably one of the best burst healers. You know, Adam has really good burst healing as well, but he has very little healing. Luna has insanely good burst healing, but also has very good consistent healing. She also has that pocket ability where you can like pocket an Iron Man, where you can put the guard on somebody. So she's just all around just really insane. And I just don't play her at my rank because I use controller on PC, and so at my rank I play in Diamond, and I can't aim as good as the other Diamond players who are on mouse and keyboard, so I just don't play her as much. So because you actually need to be able to aim to deal some damage and duel with her. To enable to heal, you do have to aim, but it's actually easy to aim center of mass, but I just can't duel very well on her. That's why I don't play her personally, but she is a very good S tier right here, very easy. And next up is Mantis, and Mantis for me is going squarely into the B tier. Now, if you ask a non-DP or non-support player, they would probably tell you, they'd probably have this list more like this. They'd probably have this list more like this. This is probably what a non, and maybe like this. Or probably like this. That's probably, and don't count Rocket yet. Rocket isn't really here. That's how probably a non-support player would have these guys set up, but let's put them how we actually think they are. Oops, put them back up here. Come back down here, Adam. There we go. Yeah, I think it's actually left to right like this. But Mantis is going to go squarely into the B tier, and the reason is that she really doesn't do a lot. Like her healing is trash. Her damage amp is like whatever. You're most often just healing. Her self damage amp is pretty good, but you're like, you should be healing. And then her sleep is really good. Her sleep is really good. Her CC is super good, and her ultimate is really good. And the reason why I say if you asked a non-support player how they would do this, they would have her all the way up here, and that's because people just like love the double stacking, like Luna into Mantis, and it's like 14 seconds the enemy can't do anything, right? That feels very impactful and it feels very good. And then whenever the enemy, like you'll be playing a game and the enemy does that, and then you don't have that set up, it feel like your team gets really mad. I totally get why people feel that way, but you're not thinking about all the times like Rocket is like rezzing. Like you don't think about all the times that like Adam is bursting a tank. You don't think about all the times in which like Cloak just like outdueled because she's so easy to play, right? You don't think about all the times where Loki just saved your whole team with the immortality field and you like just didn't really notice. You don't think about all the times. And Mantis, like her ultimate is so good, her sleep is so good, but her damage is good, but it's hard to hit. Oftentimes you're having to position very far back, so the only thing you're ever hitting is a Doctor Strange shield anyways. If there's a Hawk on the enemy team, good luck ever contesting a choke. You're gonna have to play off. You're gonna play off to the side and just healing, and she's not a very good like primary healer. It's just not how it is. A lot of the healing that you'll see will just be in her ultimate and stuff like that. So I really think she's a B tier. I think situationally, like comboed with Luna, can feel very good. She can be S tier. In that three healer comp, she's S tier in that comp, right? But just general, I think she's actually B tier. She's just budget Luna. And next up is the Rocket Raccoon. And this is my second favorite champion to play. So possibly I'm a little bit biased towards him, but he's actually going to go up squarely into the B tier. Yeah, second favorite champion to play. I really like playing him. He's very relaxing. On Rocket, you're just healing. You are just healing. If you're ever dealing damage on Rocket, if you ever look at the stat sheet, you see the end of the match and their enemy Rocket is dealt like 8k damage, he's doing something wrong. If you ever find yourself you're not dueling, you're running. He has so much maneuverability, and you're not outdueling the Psylocke, like unless the Psylocke player is terrible. Now in lower elos, I guess, sure, but it's just gonna be so easy to run from them. and then just get to your team and keep healing. So Rocket is so strong because of the BRB revive, the revival, the little relay that he drops. If you position those really well, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Like when you pick Rocket and then people will like you're losing the game and people will cry because you're not playing Mantis or something like that. They really want you to play Mantis because they're like, oh, we're not able to break the choke. You don't think about all the times in which like you're trading picks, like you kill their tank, like both your tanks die or something like that, and your tank reses and theirs doesn't because you have a Rocket and they have a Mantis. And then now they're like, nice, you're Mantising ulting 4 people. Okay, sweet. You have no tank. We're just gonna wait out your Mantis ult, and then we're gonna drop our Rocket ult and kill you all. Like, people don't think about all the times in which that happens. Like, that happens all the time. You break the first point and Rocket has 4 reses by the first point. It's very good. So he does a lot of stuff that you won't see in the stat sheet. So non-support players will think that he's really bad, but he's actually very, very, very good. His ult timing, you just have to space it around the Luna and the Mantis ult. If you're positioning correctly, you charge your ult faster than anybody in the game. If you're positioned behind your team and healing them really well and not taking damage, he will charge your ult faster than anybody, and you can even drop your ult before the Mantis, before the Luna ult to break the choke with your reses, with your revives. He's very good, like very fast tempo champion, and so he's very good. And when you have a good Punisher player, he's S tier. He's S tier. You just pocket that Punisher. He's instant S tier if you have a good Punisher. You just win the game. It's like Punisher gets 2 ultimates. He has, he has an ultimate every 20 seconds when you play with Rocket. So, but he's gonna go into the B tier right here. And honestly, I would personally rate him, fuck it, I ain't scared. I'm gonna rate him above Mantis. I think, by the way, anything being above is super good. I think Jeff isn't that good, but in low elo, you can solo carry games sometimes, but I think just all these champions just do more than he does outside of that one big play that he makes. Anyways, all right, guys, this is the support tier list. Good luck climbing.